I moved so much in my life that I forgot how to make myself feel at home. And recently I've been thinking about how this was a decision that I was making and not just something happening to me. Today I want to talk about how immigration and moving around often has made me feel detached from the places that I was staying in. It made me treat my apartments more like hotel rooms and less as homes that I was living in. My name is Violetta, and I've been an immigrant for more than 12 years now. I came to Canada from Ukraine in 2013. I was a teenager at the time. I came here initially to get my education. So I finished high school, went to university, and then started working in Canada. All this moving around often came with limitation of me being unable to change the space that I was in. So if I was living in a host family, that meant not being able to decorate my room or knowing that I'm only going to spend a couple of months at a time at a specific place, which made me feel like it didn't seem worthy of putting in so much effort if I was gonna pack everything up and leave. I would treat the places that I stayed at as somewhere where I eat, sleep, and prepare for leaving again. Never taking the time to really personalize my space or think about how I would want my living situation to be. A year ago, I wrote a short piece where I talked about something that I call immigrant reluctance. And what I mean by that is never unpacking your psychic suitcase, so to speak. You move from one place to another, but you never let yourself fully relax, unpack, and make yourself feel at home because you know you might need to leave really soon. And with that comes not decorating your space, not really putting that personal touch to things, not acquiring stuff. This emotional detachment made sense when everything in my life felt temporary. But there never came a point when someone would just come to me and say, okay, you're allowed to unpack now. You're allowed to stay here. This is home. Okay. I'm home. This is what a house of a mentally healthy person looks like, right? There was a set of issues that I kept bringing with me from one living arrangement to another, whether that was a host family or an apartment where I lived by myself. Those issues showed up like having a chronically cluttered space. So I never took the time to establish systems that would allow me to keep my home tidy. I would sort of just put everything on the surfaces, and because the space would become so overwhelming and I didn't like spending time there, I didn't like studying there. I would leave really early in the morning to go to school or go to work. And then when I came back home, I was already too tired to clean, to establish those systems. So that became a vicious cycle of not putting in the effort into my space and then ending up avoiding my space. Because I was embarrassed of how my space looked like. I also avoided hosting. I didn't invite people over, which then created even greater degree of separation and sense of alienation for someone who moved to a new country. And it also showed up in smaller ways, like I noticed that I didn't read as much as I did when I was a teenager, but it actually took me years to realize that that was because I didn't have a proper reading light to read at home when it was darker. Simply setting up a table lamp would fix the problem that I thought had more to do with self-discipline and becoming unable to retain my attention on text, when in reality I could have taken the steps to set up my environment in a way that would welcome that activity. I thought I simply didn't care about interior design, and that's why I was having all those problems. But it took me years to understand that not caring was a coping strategy in a way. I was too afraid to open myself up to the possibility of loving my space. Because if you love something, then if you have to move somewhere else, your living situation changes, it'll hurt. And unknowingly, I think I didn't care as a way to protect myself from experiencing hurt down the line. The turning point for me, I think, came when I moved into this apartment where I'm currently at, because this was the first place that I really liked, and this was my first time putting in conscious effort into trying to make it nicer. So right now I want to shift into a concrete example of something that I'm working on right now, which is giving a refresh to my bathroom. So first step was realizing that the bathroom feels really depressing. As you can see, it still has gray paint on the walls. I painted the rest of the walls in my apartment white. It was a massive step for me because I never painted before in my life, and I painted all the walls in my apartment. While it was really challenging and overwhelming thing to go through after you just moved, right now, whenever I look at the walls in my apartment, it does give me this nice, cozy feeling of feeling like I made it my own. Yes, it's just a white canvas, and I'm still lacking the art, and I'm still lacking decor, which would further personalize the space, but just simply putting effort into my home really changed my experience of being in there. So in order to figure out the direction that I wanted to go into, I did what I usually do when I have no idea what I'm doing. I need a presentation. And so I put all of the photos that I took from Pinterest that I liked, of the bathrooms that I liked, and I tried to identify what do I like about those pictures. I liked the wooden frames. I liked that they hung art on the walls in the bathroom, which is not usually something that you expect in that space, but it really elevated the whole thing. So I thought it would be kind of interesting to leave the bathroom makeover for the next video, where I can show each step of the way and how I went about this bathroom refresh. Even though it may not be correct or perfect, for someone who is super new to home renovations, this could be a good place to start, so you could just see how I structured my process. So for today, I want to leave you with 3 invitations. The first being, identify your version of immigrant reluctance. You don't have to be an immigrant, and you don't have to have the same life experience as I did to have this version of permanent temporary. What is the area of your life where you're never allowing yourself to fully feel at home? Number 2, choose one point of friction in your home and just work on it. Is it that you don't have anywhere where you put your keys, so then you end up scrambling every time you have to leave your house because you don't know where they are? Or is it that you also don't have a good reading light, so you end up not reading as much as you would want to? And number 3, allow yourself to want a home. If your life has been in transition and you moved around a lot, it may be the fact that you're going through a similar experience. You feel like you're never letting yourself to fully unpack and let yourself be at home. But maybe it's time to let yourself have a home, even if you're not sure how long you're going to be staying. This channel is still really new, but if you found this video helpful, make sure to check out other videos that I have on my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.